What up, YouTube? Ignore the men in the back. Name of the channel is Rich the Return Rider. For all you folks that's here for the first time, thanks for tuning in. For all you folks that's return viewers, I appreciate you coming back. For all that subscribe to the channel, appreciate the support, guys. We are doing my first track day. Was going to do a series here and record this, but I got to tell you, folks, it was advised that I just pay attention on the first day. So yeah, guys, first track day. I'll give you a little look at my setup here. Things are all over the place right now. It was pretty windy out here. We are at Jennings GP. So yeah, you can hear some bikes going around the track. But let's take a look at my setup here, folks. Got my tent, I just almost lost my tent in the wind, so we did some strapping down here.
I'll be right up there. Okay.
Got a little bit of tools here.
340. 340.
Hey, got some tires there, guys, just in case I don't pass tech. Got a new set. Tools over in the corner. So guys, we started the video out here today, man, with these guys here doing the introduction at a riders meeting. Did a little bit of raffle, introduced some of the driver coaches. Remember Billy there, guys? Billy became one of my mentors. Yeah, introducing the coaches there for the day and the different classes. So we started the video out, guys, right after the drivers meeting, heading straight to a class for the novice. These folks prioritize the rules and safety of the day. What you're looking at here, guys, is my new addition to the family here. This is a CBR 600RR. Lauren and I picked up for a relatively inexpensive price, and we added it here to our little collections of the Goldwing and the M109R. And here we are at the track with the CBR 600, guys. This motorcycle, 2007, was flawless. Just changed the fluids and so forth on this motorcycle, the front brake pads, and was ready to take it to the track. So the reason I'm introducing this bike here, guys, as you see there from a video I totaled my Aprilia RS660, was one of the recommendations that I have here, guys, is if this is your first track day and you're one that want to push your limits a little, you might not want to bring your prized possession, your expensive motorcycle, to the first track day if you're an inexperienced rider. As you see some of the beautiful bikes that's here, the Ducatis, the KTMs. You know, what I'm going to say, folks, is again, if it's your first track day, and this is my first organized track day with Southern Track Day, you can rent a motorcycle. You can, again, pick a motorcycle up that's relatively inexpensive. This track is 45 minutes away from me. The way I looked at it is if this is something that I didn't like for the price that I paid for the motorcycle, I should be able to easily flip it. But let's talk about it, man. Now, I'm watching the video there with the gentleman that totaled his Aprilia. And what was interesting to me as he was talking to his friends after he low-sided the motorcycle was he seemed not to understand what happened on that specific day. He was blaming some imperfections of the track for his demise. And as I'm listening to him talk and I'm going to the comment section, I always say the comment section is where the magic happens. There's lots of folks that seem to have a lot more experience than this gentleman did on ride motorcycle. Now, he was flying on this bike. He was passing folks left and right. Remember the Christian Motorcycle Association there, guys. This place was a blessing. Billy's the guy, Billy, that took me under his wings, is affiliated with this organization here. We're going to talk a little bit about that as we go on. But so yeah, this gentleman, as I'm listening to him talk as he's being treated after his incident, seemed not to understand what his mistake was as he low-sided this motorcycle and totaled it. Now, from the comment section, there was clear indication that he might have been riding beyond his skill level, and that being the reason for his incident. Now, if you're considering the track day, guys, I'm going to encourage you to go watch his video. And what I'm going to say to this gentleman, man, is consider the stuff in the comment section to be constructive criticism. Sometimes there's a bigger lesson learned in our failures than our success. Great information, guys. Appreciate him for posting it. And I think after you go back and watch that video, he'll be able to have a different perspective on where he went wrong. Is if you hang on to the end of the videos, I'm going to tell you one of the things that I don't recommend when it comes to doing a track day. And I'm going to answer the question, man, would I do it again? Now, I've purchased a motorcycle, but I got to share with you an experience that I had on the track days that wasn't as organized as this track day was. And what you're looking at there is tech. This is one of the first things you're going to do with your motorcycle. You're going to bring it to the tech inspection. They're the instructors that's here. That's going to go over the motorcycle and make sure it's safe. One of the recommendations is that you tape the lights up, you tape the mirrors or take the mirrors off, tape up your indicators, you can tape up your license plates. In the event that a motorcycle goes down, guys, they don't want to have a bunch of glass and so forth all over the track. But yeah, guys, grab any of these instructors here. You're paying $300 to $400 and change for these classes. These folks are more than willing to give you individual attention. Their priority is safety. And if you're a new rider, guys, and you're concerned about it, they will protect you out there as much as they can if you ask for information. You know, one of the things that you're looking at the big dogs of the inspections there that got to approve the bikes. But one of the things that I realized getting back into riding motorcycles, guys, is that there are people out there that pay the cost to be the boss. Riding a motorcycle is not as easy and as fundamental as we think. Again, there are folks out there that's more than willing to share their experience with you getting to the levels that they are by making the mistakes they made and preventing you from doing the same as you're being taught these classes. Now, as I got out here on the CBR 600, was recommended on this specific day, the next day, that I keep the motorcycle in third gear. One of the instructors that also had a 600 say they're more than capable of getting up to 120 miles an hour on these 600s. And I gotta tell you guys, this motorcycle was screaming, and it still wasn't really in the red zone. You know, it never bounced off the limiter. Had enough torque at low speeds to do what I needed it to do. It had enough performance to get up to high speeds of almost 150 miles an hour. Now, what you're looking at there, guys, is Billy observing me as I was out in the track. For me to come in so we can have a little conversation about something that he see me doing out there that is relatively unsafe. And we're going to talk about it. Now, when you see these folks with body position and you think, oh my God, these folks are leaning off and they look excessive.
Yeah, here in a few minutes, I'll show you some body position.
Okay.
You know, what they're telling you, man, is the more lean that you create on the motorcycle, the more you're endangering yourself on the bikes. Now, it's great to get up to speeds and so forth, but it's important to know what you're doing. And minimizing the lean angle, guys, is always going to be a factor in safety when it comes to motorcycle riding. Now, let me give you a little quick history about Billy. Billy started some track riding at about 50 years old. He became an instructor now in his 60s. Billy does ride a 2016 Honda Goldwing on the streets. Now, a lot of these folks do not ride. A lot of folks I met here that do track riding won't ride on the streets because they think the streets are unsafe. What's interesting, guys, is that we as street riders think the track is unsafe. So this stuff is all about perspective and what you're looking to do. But Billy there, as he set his bike up, is talking to me about lean angle, body position to keep the motorcycle on its contact patches so you're not riding at the edge of the tire. And it was interesting information. Now, what I'm going to suggest, guys, is they have a photographer that's at the track, and this guy is taking pictures with you. Well, he was taking pictures with me in the earlier part of the days, for both days. There's a flash drive that he will provide you for $45, guys. You can have lots of videos, lots of photos out there showing you what you look like on the motorcycle. And a lot of times, the position that we think we're in, we are really not. So these, again, photos is also educational. But yeah, what I'm going to do here, guys, is show you a little bit of a video with the Nick, the instructor, also talking about body position. I was not approved or authorized to show the recording of some of the folks that's here. So what we're going to do is we're going to blur.
All right, braking zone, I'm going to sit up a little bit. I'm going to move off. I'm going to go through turn one. You know, you move the hips, but not the shoulders. I want my hips and my shoulders to move the same distance off the motorcycle. If I'm going to lead one over the other, I would rather lead the shoulders than lead the hips. Because what happens is if I lead the hips, now my upper body's up here. If I'm going to lead one of the two, I would rather lead this one. Imagine I'm riding around and I'm telling the motorcycle, let's go, you're coming with me, we're going this way, let's go.
Where their faces out as we listen to some of the information that he's given us on body position. Important stuff, guys. Now, like I said, it depends on how much you're willing to push yourself out there. You really don't have to be in dangers of crashing the motorcycles if you are not trying to be the next Marc Marquez or Valentino Rossi. Relatively safe environment out there. Interesting, lots of information to learn. And if you watch the instructors out there, man, as they are riding these motorcycles, you're going to see how easy they make it look. One of the recommendations is if you want to increase your speed, increase it with the motorcycle upright. So encourage to do that stuff when you're on the straights. Pick up the speeds a little bit more as you're on the straights. And minimize the amount of speed that you're taking the turns in until you start to get this body position down to a science. What Billy's explaining there now to me is that, again, I was out there. I was traveling at speeds, like I said, that was pretty close to intermediate speeds, but was doing it with too much of a lean angle. I was riding at the edge of the tire. Now, to my credit, guys, when I went back and watched my video, I could see that the inputs was relatively smooth. That's something that I've learned years ago, being around racing for most of my life, that you're never going to be too over anxious on whether you're using the brakes or whether you're using the accelerator. Always be smooth on your inputs. That applies at slow speeds as much as it applies on the track. You're always going to hear Robert Simmons say it's like dancing with the motorcycle. And if you watch the instructors out there, guys, with the body position and how they toss the motorcycle from side to side, it's poetry in motion, man. This was interesting stuff. Track day. Now, what I'm going to say, folks, that I thought was important in doing this video was the first time Lauren and I went to the track in September. I went for a Monday. I think it was $130 something. And it was a pretty sketchy episode. That's one of the things that I wanted to get to close to the end of the video here. You're out on the track, you're given information in the morning time. You're going to be told where you can pass, where you can't pass. Now, in the novice class, guys, by the time we get into the second day, they allow 2 passing zones. One is on the straight before start finish. The other one is between, I think, 3 and 4. You need to be 6 feet away from whoever you're passing. The goal is never to spook anyone. Again, if the instructors are out there with a slower rider and they stick their hand out saying, hey, do not pass, regardless of whether it's a passing zone or not, they are trying to protect the folks out there so we can keep this as safe as possible. So yeah, very interesting stuff. If you're going to do a track day, guys, do not do it without instructors. This is not an event that you want to do being self-taught. You are more than likely to hurt yourself out here. There was a rider that went down 2 riders in front of me, seemed to be on a leader bike or something. And as I was trying to pass him on the straight, man, this guy would take off down the straight like a bat out of hell. But then he would go into the turns and he was relatively slow. You'll catch back up with him. So what's recommended is to pull off the track. Allow those folks to get on the other side of the track if you want to go at a nice smooth pace. So what I'm going to show and I'm going to end the video here with, guys, first of all, like I said, I apologize for having that visor there that didn't give us a real clear view. It's hard for you to really grasp what's going on there unless you've been at this track before. And I am going to say I did go off the inside of the track on the last session, probably a little bit of fatigue, practicing again, body position, probably pulling the bike a little bit more than I should have been. So much technique to getting this thing right, making sure that you are, they call it booze on the tank, that your arms is in a certain position where you're not putting a lot of pressure on the handlebars. You're using your knees to hold on to the tank. A lot to learn, guys, but interesting information. Now I'm going to say you need to get yourself in some pretty decent shape. I am out of shape. There's no question about that. I'm 10 pounds down from the going to the track in September. This is November, so I've lost 10 pounds within that period of time there, and hope to get in a little bit of better shape, as I've also signed up for a class in January. So January 2025, I'll be back at Jennings GP with an organization called Precision. A little bit more expensive. The prices has gone up. But what I want to say, guys, is that if you're interested in doing a track day, do not come out to an open session. If you're doing these track days where you have instructors, hook up with someone that can monitor you and see what you're doing out there so you do not hurt yourself. So obviously the question is answered. Would I do it again? Absolutely. Had the time of my freaking life. So we are going to leave some videos here, guys, with me out in the CBR, amateur hour at the Apollo. Maybe a couple of clips there of what I look like in my amateur position, but a little bit better than the first day that I was out when I look at the photos that was given to me. But absolute blast, guys. Looking forward to doing this in the future here. Will not go to the track again without any instructors available. There is a open track day in December. I opt out of that one because I don't think that there's going to be enough folks there to help me transition into this new passion that I'm getting into here. You know, there's a saying out there, folks. I know people are going to be like, "Ah, man, you're getting too old for that stuff." Or you too. Listen, guys, we don't start riding because we get old. We get old because we start riding. I love that quote. Really looking forward to enjoying this out, man. Again, hope to get into some shape. Encouraging you guys again to do a track day if you're curious about it. You can also bring your regular motorcycles here as long as you're not willing to push them to the point where you're going to crash them. But you know how I end my videos, guys. First of all, thanks for watching. Comment in the comment section below what you think. Don't critique me too bad. Like I said, still amateur hour at the Apollo. And I'm going to encourage you guys, man, get in the parking lot. If nothing else, practice emergency braking and swerving. I had to actually implement that going into turn 1 here after coming down the straight at almost 100 miles an hour for slower traffic. Again, target fixation almost came into play in that incident. But never panic, guys. If you're going to go off the track, they recommend that, first of all, you don't hit the front brake. You get up on the pegs and you kind of ride it out. Leave the area of the track so no one that might be target fixating on you don't look at you and run into you. But you know, take yourself off the track in a safe manner. Don't panic. Don't hit the front brakes. Don't try to sit too much on the seat. Just absorb using your legs on the pegs, and you should be okay. Anyway, guys, Rich the Return Rider, man, coming here from Jennings GP, doing my first organized track day on a CBR 600 RR 2007, and what a blast. Hope to see you folks at the track, man. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
God, thank you. That was so much fun.
Have fun.
I was behind you for a little bit. That was great.
All right.
That's the best session I've had out